Okay, everyone, this is a quick update, and I'm going by the seat of my pants. So this will be a first one take, hopefully, thing that I will do. This is for the Beginners Bootcamp series for Raid Shadow Legends, but I don't think I want to call this an official episode per se. I just kind of want to update everybody that's been following that series so that you know where I am. I'm in a bit different positioning, so if I sound different or if anything's not quite right here, let me know. And I'm in a very squeaky chair, so be aware of this. I need to get a different chair. This one has no neck and head support at all. Anyway, it used to be comfortable, but it ain't anymore. So I reached level 35, as you can see up here, and that means that I have now unlocked two things. I have now unlocked the Tag Team Arena, and they want me to play Follow the Cursor, so let's go ahead and do that. You can pause if any of this you want to read it. This should be the last of the things that need to be unlocked. This will also unlock some stuff in the shop, like the Tag Team Arena bag for tokens will also be there. So how the Tag Team Arena works, it's like the arena on steroids. Tag Team Arena comes with a bazaar. You can purchase, once you get bars from your fights, you can purchase fragments of this legendary champion, and I highly suggest you do that. Don't invest your gold bars into anything other than this right now. This is your best deal, and this is your second best deal here. This will tell you about where you're placing in your tiers. Unless you somehow have an amazing, awesome team and you're doing far better than me in your beginning stages, you're going to be stuck right around here. I can't crack number 3. Number 2 is like nightmare difficulty, bronze 2. So they need to fix that. But for right now, I'm not anywhere on that in my main account. In this account, of course, I've just started, but I'm just telling you what to expect on that. You get to create some teams here. This is your leader position. This is position 2. This is position 3. This is position 4. And I can throw some guys in here. I don't know that I will, but I can. Just watch out that when you put somebody in there with a aura that it will work. So in this case, I have Battle Hymn. I can put my strongest in position 1 or 2, Mistress of Hymns. I'm probably going to want to actually put her in position 2, but I'm not sure yet. I usually like to put my strongest team in position 2 because they tell us all to put it in position 1. But it seems like in position 1, I would rather throw that battle away because hardly anybody does anything with battle 3 in position 3. So if I have my best team here and my second best team here, usually I can squeak by and win, because I don't normally win the first battle anyway. So that's kind of how I approach it, but you might want to do different. So this is defense in all battles by 25%. It'll always just go up. I don't think you can select a slot. Maybe you can drag. Let me see. Oh, you can drag. Okay, that's cool. I always thought you just had to end up with wherever they put you, but you can drag and drop it. So this is dungeons. This would not apply. This is faction crypts and would not apply. This is an attack in all battles. That will apply. Faction crypts again. Magic ally. So that will only work with magic ally. Faction crypts, I believe. Yes. And magic ally attack. I think I already looked at that one. Scrolling with the mouse. Speed is king in these arena battles, as I've mentioned in the whole section on arena. If you can get speed, but in these early stages, when you don't even really have a legendary, unless you're super lucky, unlike me, you're not going to be doing much with that. So it looks like I don't have anybody else that I could place in here. Here's an arena battle defense. And that kind of works for me, because I like my last team to be a defense team anyway. So a defense team has to be your defense and strongest champions. They can absorb the most damage. This here is And that's like the long team, the team that would sit there, take all the hits from the initial, and then slowly and inexorably destroy the other team. I don't know if I use a standard blender, but a blender would be you have somebody that does ally attack on and get a bunch of good A1 attackers with debuffs or whatever. I just try to figure out what people are going to work best together and try to go with that. So she's my resurrector and giving me some defense. She resurrects 2 at a time. This guy is a very good defense type champion. I'm going to put him in here because he's going to go with my defense team. Then I got to figure out what position he should be in. This lady here does these buffs on me to keep me alive, and that might be necessary, I would think, in my second team more. I think I'd want her to be hitting maybe either last or second. I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind having him to kind of finish anybody off that's kind of weak. My first team's going to be kind of a throwaway team, so I'm thinking we'll just throw in my strongest champions, but we're not going to really work too hard on what order might be the best for them. I think we're just going to create this kind of throwaway team up here. My second team will be hopefully my strongest team, but I don't really know if that's going to be my strongest team. He does a decrease attack, which might be more useful up here. I've been using them on a clan boss. One of these guys does a weaken and a decrease attack, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it is. Pounder actually, I think, did decent on some of that. She'll hit if I'm hit. Some of these people have to be leveled up. He's another defense, I believe, champion, this guy here. And this guy is a defense, I believe. Trying to figure out who I want down here. I should probably have a healer type character. Now, is Valerie my healer, or is it the other one that I always get them confused? I always get them confused. So let's put my healer in second place. Let's put this guy here, and then my next strongest guy, maybe this guy, I don't know. Not really worth much, but I got this one here for a poison type of a thing, which could be useful doing that poison. And turn meter. Turn meter works pretty good with your defense teams. So this is, I'm not going to really do much more thought process on this, but this is what I've chosen for my tag team arena team setup. I've got kind of a throwaway team with some of my strongest characters or strongest abilities here in the first place. I got what I think is my strongest team right here, although it may not be and I might need to work on it. This is my defensive team, and I've put her in second place so she can heal these guys. And the idea here is that these guys, their attacks all together will be enough to overwhelm whatever they throw at me. I might do a really quick battle and show you guys how it works. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely terrible. After setting it here, you have to go in here and you have to set it up here. Once you pick to go after it, and once you start battling, there'll be a log here for your defense and your attack. So I always start at the bottom. I've got the 75k team. So let's test out and this is a good place here to try and find out. Now notice they've got this all backwards, so don't get confused. But this is a good place here to try to find out if your team is going to work very good together. This is a good way to figure that out. So let's see what happens, and we'll see how these guys work together. Some of these people do not have armor. Some of the armor I have is really subpar. I do not expect to win. You can change the speed here. You can go auto or not. I want to go auto. So this team, I think what we're trying to, I'm not quite sure if this is a blender team, or at least trying to be a blender team, but it might be. But they're not working very good together. They're obviously not handling this. I've turned off his attack and heal reduction, but it's not doing me any good. So I've lost this battle. If you lose more than 2, or if you lose 2 or more, you're dead. That's the end of your time. Yep, I've lost this now. At this point, I could just leave, and I usually would, but I'm going to see this through with you guys. Man, that was terrible. One hit and she's dead. My so-called defense team doesn't have very much... Oh, yeah, because they've got this guy here. This is one of those teams that are disguised as a weak team, but they're not. You can always tell when you look at the champions that they have. Even though there's no legendaries, this here is a fake-out team that try to make you think it's weak, and it's not. But that gives you an idea how Tag Team Arena works and how to set it up. If I were to win, I would get gold bars. I think at this level, you get 5 per battle per round that you win, and so you get 15 total if you win the whole thing. 10 if you only win 2, and none if you win none, I think. But don't quote me. I will work on my team setup and come back here a little later. And so as you do your daily quests, and you do your weekly quests and your monthly quests, in that process, you will inevitably do some of these advanced quests. Now, the way these work is you have, now it's because the time change, it's now going to be from 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time p.m. each day to 4 o'clock p.m. the following day. So you get a 12-hour window. Every one of these you get gets you progress towards these goals. Once you get this last one, it'll recycle back to the beginning. You can skip any of these you want, and right now I'm going to encourage you to skip a lot of them. You're not going to be able necessarily, unless you have some really good teams, to do 12 keys and faction wars. Don't frustrate yourself. You'll probably be able to do this one. You might be able to do this, but if you're not enjoying Tag Team, just ignore that. Make sure you don't collect this. This is a faction key here, this little icon. Don't collect this till you've done this. So if you're going to do this and collect this reward, make sure that you've done some of this so you don't waste this resource. This is doing 8 million damage to the Demon Lord. How are you going to do 8 million damage to the Demon Lord if you just reach level 35 and you have no legendaries and no good teams against the Demon Lord? Maybe some people can do it, maybe you can do it, but I can't, so I wouldn't even bother with that at your stage. 3 glyphs has to do with enchanting, which I should do a video on. I better make sure I make a note of that in the next official part of this series. Unlock a mastery. We've already gone over masteries, and that just means you've gone in to the masteries section and you've clicked on something after you've collected your scrolls from the Minotaur's Labyrinth. And then crafting, they always have this little bait thing here. So if you're going to do this, make sure that you're also doing faction wars, because you need to be collecting those materials so you can keep yourself replenished. Because you can't do this if you don't keep yourself replenished with materials. And you also have to do arena and other things that they want you to do to get other types of parts of the materials. Arena gives you the bars, I believe it is, and then there's other things that you get from other parts. So it's trying to throw you into the rest of the game so you can do this. Charms are going to be only available during events, as we went through in the video on the Forge. So you have to be aware of that. So if you're going to try to do this, make sure you're doing all this other stuff. Otherwise, just ignore it. That would be my advice at this time. So let's show you some of the new champions that I got. I opened some more of Ancient Shards outside the Double Raid event. And I got skunked until I got her. It's kind of funny because I got her at the beginning of my main account. So it's kind of funny that I have her again. I've been working on this guy. He seems to be a pretty good defense champion for a rare, so I've been working on him. I'm having some luck with that, and then I don't think I have anybody else noteworthy to mention. I did get this guy. I did get her. You'll see this one in the arena all the time. You can take her to level 50 or 60. The reason why they're using her is because this poison is kind of a nice bonus on her A1, but this is the main reason right here. That means 50%. Now, as I understand, it's going to another video from another YouTuber I watched. That means 1 out of half the time she will choose to do this Increase attack. Excuse me, that is not the one that they're using. My brain is totally out. Okay, so this is a 50% increase attack buff on her A2. And then this is the one they're using in the arena. And you want to make sure to send her to get all the way down to here. 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff. You want to get her speed up, and you want to get her accuracy up, because that means she's doing this 75% of the time she will choose to do this, and then once you have her ascended, it'll be 60%. This is what they're using. This is why you go into the arena, you'll see her in the team. She will immediately fire off this ascended skill. Sometimes they'll have masteries on her too. You'll get a pinch of damage, sometimes even a little bit more than a pinch of damage, but the main thing is this decreased defense. Once they have that on you, they'll follow up with another AoE, like Kale typically, with a lot of poison and damage, and usually these have had masteries and stuff upgraded on them or better gear, and that will pretty much kill your team. So 2 hits, you'll be dead inside of any of the, and you'll find this in the tag team arena, you'll find this in the main arena, but you'll see it more in the main arena. So be aware of that. Avoid those kind of teams unless you have really high defense, really high HP, maybe some of these divine shields, which puts a little bit of a shield at the beginning of your turn to absorb that initial damage. Because usually these teams, after they hit you with those two, it's a 1-2 punch, sometimes it's a 1-2-3. If you can survive the 1-2, and especially if you can survive the 1-2-3, then they're pretty much dead, because they're focusing all their power on the attack, on the critical, and on the accuracy, so they don't have a lot of defense or HP, so they die quickly once you start hitting them, but you've got to be able to survive. I can usually fight these guys with my current team component of, I believe it is Kaikatoon I have as my lead. She gives me speed boost. Then in my second, I have Ma Shalad, who does this fear thing and freezes everybody in their tracks. Ma Shalad usually starts up and hits that first, because I have his speed way up, so that he will freeze and put fear on everybody. Then I have Martyr in second. She'll place that shield and counterattack on everybody. If they manage to get their little decreased defense off, I can get that counterattack shield thing that Martyr does, and that will counterbalance that. And then at the very end, I have Solus, who does his big chain. I don't remember the name of the attack right now, and that usually can take them out. I can usually survive their hits. I also have, what's her name, the Barbarian for healing. Do I have the Barbarian in and I don't have Solus? Maybe I can't remember, it's 4 positions. I think it's 4 positions, not 5. Okay, so it's Haikatoon, Mashalad, Martyr, and then I have at the very end, I have Sile of the Drakes for healing and resurrect. And that's what keeps me alive through these teams. But before I had that, these teams were just giving me nothing but trouble. So be aware of that. And, I got one more thing that's kind of cool. I got him. He came out of an Ancient Shard, so that wasn't a waste at all. This is one of your starting champions, and I will, of course, take him up to 50 or 60 and work on his gear until I got him hitting hard. You'll sometimes see him in the advanced teams as one of their main AoE attackers. So, I went over the advanced quest. I showed you some of what's going on there. I think that covers everything for this little update video, and it went longer than I intended. I'm now off to do some Creativerse. So if you're curious about that, check out my next video, which will be uploaded sometime after this one. Okay, well, that concludes this episode. Be sure to leave a thumb up if you like the video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this or any of my other videos. Be sure to hit that notification icon so that you can be notified when any new videos are released. And leave me some comments, feedback, suggestions so that I can improve and do even better for you guys. Also, please stop by my Teespring store. I've got more designs coming over from Spreadshirt, but this is what I have here right now. I've got 3 cool designs. I've got this mask does not equal safe. It's kind of an attitude for everybody trying to make us wear masks right now. I've got this Zen saying and drawing that I did, to reach your destination, embrace the journey. I think that's really cool. I've got a poem over here. Poem says, life doesn't have to be so hard. It has a flow. Sometimes you'll drift, sometimes you'll row, but you get to choose the destination you'll go. I think that's really cool also. So go ahead and grab some of this stuff, and that will support me and help me in my continuing work at YouTube, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.